Lauren from the YMCA. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make paper boxes into dice that you can use if you're in a mood that you don't feel like being in anymore, and you're going to write different things on the dice to help you get out of that mood. So this first one I made was for if you're feeling sad. This next one I made was for if you're feeling grumpy. And today we're going to make one for if you're feeling unmotivated and bored. So the first thing you need is a piece of paper. I recommend cardstock. That's what this is. It's that heavier stuff that you use to make cards and a lot of other crafts, just because it's going to keep its shape better when you make it into a box. But if you don't have cardstock, it's okay. You can do this with regular paper too, or even construction paper. You'll also need a pencil, scissors, a ruler, and tape. You might also want some markers or some crayons or some colored pencils, especially if you're using white paper, and then you can decorate your box in different ways. You might even want to put stickers on them, but all of that's up to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my camera so that you can see the first steps of what I'm doing. And you can see how to draw. Because first you're going to need to draw the outline for your box, and then we'll cut it out and then fold it. Okay, so let me adjust you here. Okay. So you're going to want to turn it like this to where here's the wide part, here's the long. And you're going to measure from this end to 2 3/4 inches. So that's 2 inches, and then you'll count the little quarter marks. So you're going to take a pencil and draw a tick mark right there. Now you're going to measure from that tick mark 2 1/2 inches. And draw another tick mark. Okay. Now you're going to flip it so that you're going to draw across the long way of the paper. Sorry, it's a little bit shaky. You want it to be 10 inches across, but you don't want it to start at the very end, because that's where you will cut. You can just make that be the end you cut. I don't like to do that though, so I'm going to start just a little bit, like 1/4 inch in. And I'm going to line it up with that first tick mark. So I'm going to draw from the end of the ruler across to 10 inches. I'm going to do the same thing with that second tick mark. Try to make it as straight as possible. It won't be perfect. No one is perfect, and so nothing we do can be totally perfect, but that's okay. Just do your best. That's all we can ever do. Okay, now we're going to draw a line to close this rectangle, so a line between the two lines we just drew at the very end. And then same thing at the other end. Oops. See, no one's perfect. We all mess up. Okay. So now inside this long rectangle you've made, you're going to measure from that end in and do another 2 1/2 inch tick mark. Measure from that mark 2 1/2 inches, and from that mark 2 1/2 inches. So you'll be drawing 3 tick marks inside. Oop, my cat's trying to get in the video. Asher cat. Sorry, bud. Okay. Now you're gonna make a line straight across on those tick marks you just made. So you should have 4 squares, little square boxes that are about the same size. Okay. Now, the first 2 lines you have drawn, we're going to extend those out. So, you see where I'm at there. So right here, so that if this is the end of your paper, can't see that. Here's the end of your rectangle, that first line, the end of the first box, we're extending that out. So measure 2.5 inches off of that, make a tick mark. Do the same thing on the other side of it, make a tick mark. And you're going to do the same thing with that next line. Tick mark at 2.5 inches. 2.5 inch tick mark. Okay, great. Now you're going to make a line straight across, stopping at where you made those tick marks. So it's just a line over the line you've already drawn. For both of them. And then just like before, we're going to connect those lines to close the box. Okay, now I'm going to go over those lines with black marker so you can see more clearly. I wouldn't do that when you do it. In fact, you can even do it lighter with a pencil so that you can't see it at all once you cut it out. Just so that you can see, I'm going to draw over all the lines we've done so you can see where they are. It's also important to know whenever you're doing any kind of thing to get out of a certain mood that it's okay to have feelings that we usually say are bad. There's not really such a thing as a bad feeling. It's okay to be sad, it's okay to be mad, but we just don't usually want to stay that way. And so if that's the case, if you're feeling a certain way and you don't want to stay in that mood, then these can be great to help you figure out what you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to switch up again. Okay, so now you should have this, which is kind of like a cross, and we're going to cut it out, but you're only going to cut out along the outer edge, just like that T. We're not going to cut in these lines. Those are lines that we're going to fold on. Take your scissors. If you need to ask for grown-up's help with this, please do. We don't want any cut fingers. You can use these boxes for other things. You can put maybe exercises that you might want to do, like write 10 sit-ups or 15 push-ups or jog a half a mile or do 50 jumping jacks. And then you can roll the dice to figure out what your workout will be that day. You could put conversation starters on the box. So like getting to know you questions or topics to talk about, and then you could use it to play with your friends. This is just what we're using to make them for now, is getting out of a bad mood or an unpleasant mood. No such thing as a bad feeling. Okay, So when you cut it out, it should look like a T or a cross. And now we're going to fold along those lines. Okay, so fold it right there. If you don't want to draw it from scratch and you have a printer at home, you can find box templates like this on the internet. So that's something to think about. Oh, so that's how we're going to fold it. Before we tape it up, though, we need to write on it what we want as far as ways to get out of a mood of being bored or unmotivated. So for example, for the sad one, I wrote like write in my journal, go for a walk, call a friend on the phone, snuggle my pet rabbit, anything that I could do to help to stop being sad. And for the grumpy one, I wrote write in my journal, draw or paint, talk it out with someone, eat a healthy snack, because sometimes if you're grumpy, it's really because you need some food. But this is for feeling unmotivated. So, or bored. For me, if I'm not feeling motivated, it helps to take a shower. You might have already taken a shower for the day, but I'm ready to take a shower because a lot of times that's my issue. It'll just wake you up. Sorry it's shaking so much. This table I'm using is a card table and it's pretty shaky. Another thing you could do if you're feeling bored or unmotivated, how about make up a new game? I'm also going to walk my dog. That usually helps me start my day right. I'm not going to fill in all of them because I think you guys get the idea, but you can fill them all in however you want. So, you really probably only need about 3 pieces of tape to do this. You're just going to tape it into that box shape. Like I said, no one's perfect, so it's okay if this isn't perfect. Ta-da! You have a box. You'll roll it and decide what to do to get out of that mood that you don't want to be in anymore. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me while I showed you how to make these little boxes. Make sure that you remember that no feeling is a bad feeling, but also that you have control over your own feelings. So if you don't want to feel a certain way, there are things you can do to get out of that mood. All right, thank you all so much. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.